just, again, congratulations to Stanford. They played really well, played well enough on the road for the second week in a row to win. Obviously we have to get synced up in all three phases of our game to have a chance to beat tough opponents. And when the offense is playing well, the defense wasn't quite holding the line. When the defense was playing well, the offense couldn't get in rhythm. And in the kicking phase, we allowed too many returns and had too many penalties. And so you're not going to beat good teams doing that, and so we'll learn from it and grow.
Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, Clark, Ray Davis was in a boot a lot of the second half. Can you give us an update on his injury?
I don't have an update right now. He wasn't able to finish the game. We'll let the dust settle and get him looked at by the docs, and we'll have something more for you guys early in the week.
Anybody else have a question for Coach? Robbie, go ahead.
Clark, from your perspective, what went wrong in the last 2 minutes or so of the first half when Stanford separated?
It was just what a disappointing chain of events, right? I mean, you have a fourth down stop on the 2-yard line where our defense, found its heartbeat and stood tall for us. We turn around and go 98 yards, I think, in 7 minutes, 7+ minutes. And really, had Stanford on the ropes, and we punch it in to score. And on the ensuing kickoff return, we allow for a big return and tack on a penalty. So at that point, you're behind it. Then when we got the ball back on offense, we had a poor decision to throw an interception, gave another short field to Stanford, and then finally a punt return plus a penalty that led to the final field goal. So I mean, it's a team that doesn't yet know how to put it away, and we had a chance to take all the momentum into half and to come back to a possession, the first possession in the second half. And it's brutal. And not that ultimately we had our chances in the second half too. I thought when the defense started to play better, we couldn't get a rhythm on offense. We couldn't get that run game back established, and we didn't make the routine play. But it's hard to beat good teams when you have that chance, get momentum heading into halftime with possession coming back out. We have to put Stanford away and get to half, and we just have to be better. It'd be cleaner in the kick game, and then we have to be smarter with the ball there. Let's have a chance to take that first possession in the second half and get a lead. And so it was a frustrating point of the game. It's going to be something again that we teach off of and learn from. But that was a killer swing of momentum for us tonight.
Aria, go ahead.
The run game looked a lot better today than it did in the previous games. What was working for you guys?
Well, the offensive staff had a nice design. We ran our running backs run hard. I mean, and what's happening for us is we're getting better, and that's a product of the work that we're putting in. And it didn't show up in the result tonight, but it's, that's what you're seeing. You're seeing an offensive line that's learning how to play together, that's learning how to handle a game plan and the nuances that an opponent throws at you. So the better they're connected and the better we design to get to make the challenge the structures of the opponent. We got running backs that'll run hard, and they ran hard, and we were able to find some chunks. And then we used tempo as a weapon, right? We were lining up and snapping the ball and getting them on their heels. And I was proud of that early run game. I think that's indicative of what we will be doing. And now we need to allow that to set up some play action shots and get the ball down the field and try to get some explosive plays too. But was pleased with the early run game. Wish that we could have found that rhythm in the second half as well. Hats off to Stanford for making good adjustments.
Chris, do you have another one?
Yeah, Clark, there were times you went tempo tonight, some times that you backed out of it. What went into the decisions each way? I
think, tempo for us is a tool. It's it's a weapon. And when we feel like we have rhythm and drive, it's something we can use to apply pressure on the opponent. You know, we've always had the philosophy we're the best mentally and physically conditioned team in the country, and so we want to weaponize tempo and weaponize our conditioning in our style of play. And so that was all. You know, if we don't quite have the rhythm, or if we need a little more time to set up and execute a call, we're gonna take time. We're gonna huddle. You know, we're gonna be able to shorten the game, you know, once we're able to move in between these tempos effectively. Unfortunately tonight, you know, we weren't able to get a lead and weren't able to you know, to use the huddle tempo to be effective as well.
Robbie again.
Yeah, Clark, you know, Cam didn't do a ton until late in the game, and it seemed like Stanford maybe took away some things in the passing game that he did well against Colorado State. You know, what did you see, you know, in terms of maybe the passing game not being as effective tonight compared to last weekend?
Well, it was, you know, different coverages. So different coverages have different kind of points of exposure, and a lot of man free tonight. So in man free, you have to win your one-on-one matchups. You know, I would like to have seen us connect on a couple of shots. We took a couple, but weren't able to pull them in. And then there were a couple big drops too. I think Sept had one on a shallow that hit him in the hands, and then we had one early to Chris Pierce on a play that's set up to go against man free. So again, there are opportunities there, but anytime you're playing a team that's playing a lot of man-to-man, you just have to win, and that's across the board. And we have to be able to throw the ball into tight spaces. And so we'll look at the film specifically to see where they were effective against Cam, but that was what we were seeing as far as the coverages were concerned.
Andrew, go ahead.
Yeah, so Stanford had 12 plays of 15 plus yards on more against Vanderbilt defense. Tell me what your thoughts are and how that can change.
Well, you know, it's going to sound a little bit like a broken record. I mean, again, we played our best when we settled into our defense, and there are plays that we got away with tonight where we're not leveraged properly, and there could have been a couple more of those runs. So you know, we have to, starts with our coaching, starts with the awareness. The first run they hit is a structural breakdown, and it's just it can't happen. You know, once we settle in and we start playing physically and we, you know, play through our technique, we're in good shape. We weren't able to pressure like we were against Colorado State. I think that's a testament to Stanford's front. They handled it. They were able to block it, and they created some creases inside that were tough. And so some of it is certainly that they're a formidable opponent and they made plays. And so again, you have to give them credit for that. But we're going to be disgusted with some of the execution and some of the details on the film, and that's where we have to take ownership as a staff and as a program to be better.
All right, Aria, last one.
Yeah, so you touched on this a little bit, but you know, the defense kind of settled down a little bit in the second half. So what was the biggest differences, you know, between when things were working and when they weren't?
Well, you know, I think it's fair to everyone to be able to look, you know, and review the film to get specific. But yeah, my biggest point of disappointment early was, you know, it was the structural breakdown. It was the, you know, again, doing the fundamental things at a high level. It resembled Colorado State to me that way. You know, the early part of that game, I think the difference was our offense came ready to play, and they were able to generate some momentum for us. And had we not, you know, fallen apart at that 2-minute point heading into the half, I mean, we have a 2-minute drive that we're setting up. In my mind, we're about to go score another touchdown, you know, and we throw the interception. You know, if not for that, we give our defense time to settle in. Coming out of halftime, it was less structural and it was more spirit and enthusiasm to me. You know, the offense wasn't able to generate momentum on their drive. Our defense came out and And I was not proud of the way they played. They didn't represent what we've become as a defense and what we are day in, day out as a defense. And so we challenged that. The players challenged each other. The coaches challenged the players. We looked each other in the eye, and I felt like there was a positive response, up until the final drive that went for a touchdown. And, that one's another one that stings too, because, there were opportunities there for us to get off the field. It wasn't like we were seeing a lot of complexity in the scheme. They're lining up in two backs and they're running the ball. Like we need to be in good positions and good leverages. And so, it's a mix, Aria. It's, I can't, I'll probably be more specific with it on Tuesday, but it's a mix of things that we got to learn from. And again, it's ownership all the way around, and until we strengthen in those areas, until we can come out and play all three phases at a high level to start the game, we're going to be in some tough battles where we got to find a way to win. And tonight, Stanford found a way, and we'll learn from it, grow from it. We'll be better next week for the process.
All right, Coach. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Anfernee, can you hear me okay? Test that microphone again for me. There we go. Yeah, you're good. Thank you. All right, folks, we got linebacker Anfernee Orji with us. Robbie, why don't you go ahead with the first question?
Hey, Anfernee, Stanford, I think, averaged 7.5 yards per play tonight. So, what do you think were the issues for you guys defensively?
We just gotta trust our training. We know we gotta be in our gaps. We gotta be downhill. We just gotta trust. We gotta trust each other on the field and just do our job.
Aria, go ahead.
What happened for you guys in that kind of stretch between the second and third quarter where Stanford scored, I think, 20 points in just a couple minutes?
We just gotta get the right mindset. We gotta keep our dominant mindset all throughout the time around the field, so we can't let up no matter what the situation is.
Do we have any more questions for Anfernee? Go ahead, Chris.
Anfernee, slow starts have kind of been an issue for you guys this year. I know that's something that got addressed in practice this week. Your coach talked about it in his press conference. What do you think went into the slow start tonight?
We just didn't start fast is really what it is. We just gotta come out, start fast. We know what we're doing. We watch the film, like we know exactly what we're doing. So we just gotta go out and execute. We just gotta start fast. Just everyone do your job and just play football.
All right, Mr. Orji, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Hey, Rocco, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
All
Can
right.
you hear me?
Yep, absolutely. If you guys got questions for Rocco, please use the raise hand function. Chris, go ahead.
Rocco, it seemed like you guys had more room to run tonight than previous weeks. Did you notice that from your vantage point, and what was the difference? Where were those holes coming where maybe they haven't before?
Biggest thing that we did this week was as an offense, running backs, old linemen got together in the film room, really just broke down Stanford and how we can puncture the defense. And I think that's been the biggest improvement, as you can see on the field.
Any other questions for Rocco, folks? Aria, go ahead.
Offensively, what do you think were the differences tonight between, the beginning of the game when everything was working pretty well versus some of the times, in the third and fourth quarter when the offense wasn't doing as well.
So as a team, we focus on the middle 8, which is the end of the second quarter, last 4 minutes of the second quarter, first 4 in the third quarter. And that's when things start to break apart. So, it's just as a team and as an offense, we got to strengthen that. And, we started fast. Biggest thing next time is to finish fast.